Where did you come from? How did you get here? Well, science has an answer. 14 billion years ago, the Big Bang happened. The most basic building blocks of matter exploded from a central point, the Higgs boson particle, also known as the God particle, is the founding building block of all matter. And at the same time, all of this matter, energy, the space between all of it, and time all suddenly appear. From that, quarks are formed, and shortly after, quarks bond into atoms. And gravity causes large clumps of atoms to form and make stars. At this time, there are only one or two different kinds of atoms that form these early stars. And these stars clump together into galaxies, and these galaxies continue to race away from the central point where it all started. And over many, 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 many years, these stars degrade and eventually collapse. And the collapse is so violent in the supernova that it collides atoms together and new elements form. And over many, many years, these collapsing stars create all of the known elements in all of the universe, other than the ones that have been made by man since. And these elements, they clump together in the gravitational pull of a star, and they eventually form planets. And then, on the edge of one of these galaxies spinning away from a central point, a star known as the Sun is formed, and in its gravitational pull, these elements, they clump together and form planets. And on the third planet from the Sun, these elements happen to find themselves in a zone known as the Goldilocks zone. This clump not only has all of the right elements, but is also in the right zone to find itself with the right temperatures, to have liquid water. And through tectonic shifts and volcanic activity, this water finds itself in large pools. And in these large pools, for some reason, a primordial soup of amino acids has formed. These elements on Earth randomly bond together into this amino acid pool, and this pool is then struck by lightning. And from that, we now have life in the form of a very basic single-celled organism. And then over time, that single-celled organism mutates into multi-celled organisms. And from that multi-celled organism, we eventually get all of the different animals in the early seas. And one of these early animals, these fish-like creatures, decides to leave the water and walk on land, using its basic flippers to move about. And over many, many years, those flippers eventually form into legs. And from that fish that for some reason decided to leave the safety of the water, its habitat, even though there was plenty of food for it in the water, all of its ancestors eventually form all of the animals on the planet. Eventually, dinosaurs And then the Earth is struck by a large meteorite, which kills off the dinosaurs. But not all of life dies. And the ancestors of that continue to evolve, and eventually we get an ape-like creature. And from this ape-like creature, eventually we get a man. We get humans. And these early humans eventually develop into us. And all of this happened in 14 billion years. In a universe so perfectly dialed in that if you were to change any of the constants throughout the universe, like gravity, temperature, weak force, strong force, none of this could have happened. None of these random accidents could have led to the random accident that is you. See, you are not special. No one created you. See, what happened was, for some reason, a giant explosion 14 years ago burst forth all of that, which could eventually lead to you. Through a random, never-ending amount of accidents. And you're just an accident among those. Just another carbon-based life form, a clump of cells. And that is how science created you.